If I have to do another 2 truths and a lie as an icebreaker, I think I'm going to go postal. Seriously, if you feel the same way, push the like button. Then we're on the same page. Look, today we're going to talk about icebreakers. Now, I know this is like a love-hate relationship, right? We like to get to know people, and icebreakers are a fun way to do that. However, at the same time, they kind of are corny and they make us feel uncomfortable, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today, is actually how we can do icebreakers that make sense for our scuba classes and will actually be a great way to connect and bond with your students. So welcome to the Dive Locker Podcast, the podcast for dive professionals, where we bring you the latest in diving industry resources that make you excellent at teaching techniques, risk management, and dive business. I'm Tech Clark, your host, and welcome to the show today, everybody. The icebreaker thing, look, I grew up with icebreakers, right? Why? Because I worked at the YMCA of the USA, and I also was a recreation major. You kidding me? I literally had one class. The whole class was dedicated to icebreakers in a whole get-to-know-you type recreation class. It was amazing, right? A little too much, a little overkill. So I've used icebreakers for years to connect with students in my classes or groups of people that I'm taking diving. Doesn't matter. They work if they're done right. And so you might be sitting here bristling at the idea of icebreakers and because you don't like them yourself, but I'm going to show you today how they can be an effective tool, and I'm going to give you 3 of my favorites that absolutely work, and you can do it. They hardly cost a thing. They're so easy to do. They're fun and stimulating. So first of all, we've got to understand that icebreakers literally have a very legitimate place in our scuba classes and our dive supervision. Why? Because research shows a whole bunch of great things that come with icebreakers. Number 1, research shows that you get an increase in trust and likability when you use icebreakers in a group setting. Number 2, research also shows that communication skills are enhanced because now people are communicating with each other in a class, communicating with you, you're communicating with them. So these skills are actually a really, really great thing. And then the final thing that research likes to point to is team building and teamwork is enhanced by doing icebreakers at the beginning of a training, of a class situation, or a group gathering. So all of these together make it such that you definitely want to do icebreakers for your classes. And I think that this is a really, really great thing to do if done right. So how do we do it right? Well, here's 10 rules to getting icebreakers right. And these rules come from quizbreaker.com. Quizbreaker.com. Here you go, 10 rules here. First, keep it short, keep it light. Involve everyone. Keep it encouraging. Keep it fun. Make it upbeat. Keep it moving. Keep it simple. Encourage everyone and keep doing it. There you go. So the 3 that we're going to go over today have all of those rules established with it, as well as what those research findings do. Yep, they are all part of this. So you're going to love them. Let's hit this in order with icebreaker number 1. Icebreaker number 1 is called the reporter. So what is this about? Well, it's done with 2 people. So a nice buddy team. This can be done in the classroom or pool setting, confined water, or open water, on a dive boat, a trip, doesn't matter. As long as 2 people are together in a buddy team, this works great. What you'll need is a slate. Each person has their own slate. Now, you can provide that to them. They can use their own, however that works for your class. But you want a slate. And so you have them write down 5 questions. You could do more. You could do less. But these 5 questions are for them to interview their buddy and ask them these questions and write down the answers on the slate so that they can then report on their buddy and tell everybody else about their buddy. So it's an interview, and they're acting as the reporter, and then they get to tell others about their buddy. So it doesn't put the buddy really on the spot. It puts the person that did the interviewing on the spot, which is a nice little flip, and it's a really cool change up. So here's an example of some of the questions. First, name. What's the person's name? Where are they from or hometown? Favorite marine life. This is a great one for our scuba classes. Favorite marine life. Why are they taking this class? Or if you're on a dive trip, why are they going on this dive trip, right? And then I also love bucket list dive destination or bucket list dive, whatever you want to refer that to. But this is a great way for people to then conjure what they want to do, and then other people can get behind that. And of course, all of these things are why. So you don't just say the answer, but the person doing the reporting would go, why do you want that bucket list item? What's so great about it? That type of thing. So then those are taken. Now, the person that's doing the reporting writes down on the slate. Once they've written down on the slate and everybody's done back and forth, now it's time for the reporting to take place. So now the person that was the reporter gets the slate and tells everybody else about their buddy. Here's what's awesome. This works for every class, but it especially works for Dive Master and higher. Why? Because this is where we're really looking for those communication skills. And before long, those Dive Master candidates are going to be using slates to create their dive briefings and say their dive briefings. So this is a wonderful way for us to also see how those Dive Master candidates are talking. How do they communicate? What skill sets do we need to do with them for that communication? How comfortable are they, etc. So this is a wonderful, wonderful icebreaker for all classes, but especially Dive Master and higher, because you get to see those communication skills blossom in individuals. So that is called the reporter. All right, my next favorite icebreaker is simply Jenga, but with a twist. Each block, we are going to write some question, something that we want to know to learn about that person. So what happens is you set this up, your classic Jenga tower, in your classroom. And when students are there, beginning of the class, or they come back after a break, what happens? They play the classic game. They pull something from inside, now they read it and put it on the top. And then the next person comes. They get a block, they read it, tell everybody the answer, and put it on the top. So this is a great thing to engage people, but there's also this side game going on that is Jenga. And so you can let that literally sit there in your classroom going for days or weeks or hours, depending on how long your class is. But still, you're going to get the same great effect of being able to hear what people say as their answers and learn about each other. So just simply get yourself a classic Jenga set. Now, this, you can find them anywhere used. Like this was $8, OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace. They're not that expensive new, so whatever floats your boat. But get yourself the Jenga. You're going to have 54 of these, right? So 54 blocks in the classic Jenga set. And all you do is take questions and you write them on there. So just get yourself a Sharpie, throw it in, and there you go. Voila. Where were you born? What's your dream car? What's your dream job? Do you have any pets? Most embarrassing moment. Let's see, Marvel Comics or DC Comics, right? I mean, you can just go on and on and on with this, and all of the results just are engaging for people to then say why or say something relevant about that question. And it just gets people to know each other really, really well. So this is Jenga with your questions on here. And by the way, we're going to put a list of questions for you in the show notes. So just go to the show notes. You'll have a list of 80-something questions that will obviously work for this and the next icebreaker. And icebreaker number 3, which is my absolute favorite of them all, drum roll please, is the beach ball icebreaker. Yes, this one is awesome. You'll love it. Your students will love it. Anybody that plays this absolutely loves it. It's awesome. And you can do this anywhere. It works in a classroom and it works in a pool or confined water really well, especially during a tread water float, right? At the beginning of the class. This is awesome. But classroom works just fine. Here's the whole thing behind it. What you do is you tell your students ahead of time, when you catch the ball, wherever your right thumb lands, or wherever your left index finger lands, or your right pinky, whatever, pick a digit. And then you throw it around, and when a student catches it, they have to read which it is here. So if we come through and look, all of a sudden, all right, my right thumb, first job. Now I tell everybody about my first job, right? There we go. And now, once we've done that, we throw it to the next person. Now the next person catches it wherever their right thumb lands or whatever. What is your worst habit? Awesome, right? So this is so cool. And to go back and forth for people, you can do it as much as you want because this is just loaded with all kinds of questions that go through. And you can even see, you can get graphic too and put some fun little things down here like goggles or a mask, a bike, ice cream cone picture. You know, just make it fun. A wine glass. Oh, here's the most controversial one. Toilet paper over or under, right? So that's super cool. But anyhow, this is what this is all about. And it's fun. It's engaging. You can do it in classroom, confined water, wherever you want. And everybody has a blast. Now, let's say you're in the swim test doing this, right? Now, you can have everybody tread in water and then they tell something and throw it to the next person. It adds to the challenge of the water tread. Now, if you feel that there are people in your class that aren't up to being able to hold this or their hands out of the water while they read this and talk and then throw it to another person, then what you can do is have somebody grab it and throw it right back to you after they know what the question is. Now they throw it back to you, you hold on to it, and now once they've got done talking, now you can throw it to another student. So you can do it any way you want, but this one is hands down my favorite, and it's a class favorite as well. The beach ball icebreaker. And like I told you before, we've got all of the things that I have on here as well as on the Jenga, all the questions that we have. And so this makes it a really great thing that that you can use for this. So I'm going to say them to you now, read them off here, what they are, some sample ones, but also they are in the show notes so that you can cut and paste them, use them yourself, and make whatever you want, whether it's the Jenga or the beach ball, and you can put them in place. So here's some of the questions that we put down here. It's really cool stuff. First, favorite sports team, sailboat or motorboat, stand up and touch your toes. Hard to do if you're swimming, right? Free weights or machine. When did you last take the bus? Tennis or pickleball? Steam, sauna, or hot tub? Swim or snorkel? Stationary bike or mountain bike? Longest distance run? Coke or Pepsi? I challenge blank to a breath hold competition right now. Maybe not for the pool on that one, right? Mac or PC? Apple or Android? Favorite breakfast food? Your theme song, football or soccer, cardio or strength training, save or spend, David Hasselhoff or Tom Selleck. Yeah, that's for the Gen Xers and the Boomers. Others aren't going to get that, trust me. Ocean or mountains? Red or white wine? Dream job? What is your worst habit? What's your earliest memory? Hamburger or taco? Favorite sport to play? First CD ever bought? Maybe old on that one too. Ever break a bone? Favorite adult beverage? First music concert? Weirdest thing you like to eat? Coffee amount per day? Shower or bath? How long have you lived in wherever you're at? Favorite pizza topping? On and on and on. So this just goes, and like I said, we've got over 80 of these for you. So check out the links on the show notes, or the notes on the comments, the show notes for this episode. You'll see them all listed there. And that is really, really awesome stuff to use. So there you go. And look, if you're doing icebreakers yourself, or if you are going to do these and do one of these things in your classes, let us know how it goes by putting that in the comments. How did it work for you? If you're doing other icebreakers, also write those in the comments. What works for you? What is your favorite? What's your class's favorite? Put that in the comments so that others can learn from you about what works out there. So there you go, my friends. That is icebreakers. And you know what the importance of them is. I know they're not the most wild thing, but trust me, if you do just these three, they will be a hit. You will connect, you will build communications, you'll build teamwork, you'll build trust, you'll build likability. All of the things that research shows happens with these are great. So there you have it, my friends. Let me know how it goes for you guys. Put them in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And please consider being a patron of this show by showing some love. Go to www.patreon.com/thedivelocker to help sponsor this show. That's it, my friends. Take good care, and we'll see you next time.